G'day guys, it's Kev here from Kev's Collectibles. Welcome back to another haul. Man, been watching episode 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett show, and man, us Star Wars fans have been really treated to some of the most amazing new content in Star Wars for a very long time. And yeah, it's really exciting times ahead. And anyway, for those of you who actually haven't seen episode 5 and 6, there's some major spoilers ahead, so I suggest you watch those shows first and come back to this video after. But now you've had your spoiler warning, today in my video I want to be talking about obviously the big appearance of Cad Bane, and obviously there's also been quite a few hints as to I guess future storylines in the upcoming Mandalorian season. So the first key book I want to talk about is Star Wars Tales of the Clone Wars from 2010. Now I've shown this book in a previous video, and also I gave away a copy of this for my 200 subscriber show. But the reason why this is a very important book in terms of Cad Bane is that it's the first appearance of Cad Bane in a non-traditional comic book format. So this is actually a trade paperback book, which is a collection of the Clone Wars web comics, which were comic strips on the StarWars.com website. So they were actually never printed like, you know, the traditional trade paperback books are a collection of printed comic books, but in this case it was actually online comic books in a digital format, so it's a little bit different. And this has about a 2,000 print run, so there's not that many around. But the first appearance of Cad Bane is actually in this story at the end, where someone's trying to hunt him down, but he ends up well, hunting them in the end. But that's the first appearance of Cad Bane there, full body shot, really awesome. The other cool thing I like about this book is it actually shows a cool artwork piece of Cad Bane here as well, right there. That's pretty awesome. And the other cool thing about this webcomic is it came with two posters, one for the light side and one for the dark side. And the dark side poster, which I'll show you now, it has all the various dark side characters, but it also has Cad Bane, which is over here. Now the next key book on the list is Darth Maul #2 from 2017. Now this is probably the big book that everyone's trying to collect. So this is actually the first standard comic book first appearance of Cad Bane. I'll show you actually where he appears for the first time, and you know me, I'm not scared to open my books and show you guys that, but he appears right there for the very first time in comic books, a full body shot, and he talks multiple times, so it's definitely his first full appearance. You can see him in multiple panels there. So basically the story here is that he's teaming up with Darth Maul in order to track down a Jedi Padawan. So he actually works alongside Maul in this particular story. There's actually a second printing edition of this comic book as well, and I'll show you a picture of that on the screen now. And the difference here is that it's identical to the first printing, except in the background you can see stars. So that, and it also says on the barcode, the top of the barcode there, it says second printing as well. But that's how you can tell the difference between the first and second printings. There's also a, I'll put on the screen now for you, a Darth Maul #2 Paul Renaud variant, which is the Star Wars 40th anniversary edition. So that one is not so popular, but still very collectible. It has Luke Skywalker on the cover there, and it shows a scene where Obi-Wan gives him, his father's or Anakin's lightsaber that he picked up from him when he basically sliced his limbs off, and it shows the scene where Luke ignites the saber for the first time, which is pretty cool. So that's another key book to look out for. Now, the creme de la creme of Cad Bane comic book collecting editions is obviously this Aja variant, which came out obviously as well in 2017. This is a 1 in 25 ratio variant, and it's very hard to get in high grade. As you can see, it has that black ink color background, and obviously it's more susceptible to ticks. So there's not that many high grade copies on the CGC census, but yeah, this is going to now be out of reach for many people in terms of value. I think the 9.6s are going for around 9 to 1,000 now, and the 9.8s, I think one sold for about, was it 1.6 recently? So yeah, I mean, if we're going to see, which I assume, more scenes of Cad Bane, like obviously in the final, plus I think he'll appear in future episodes, this book is only going to continue to climb. So I am so stoked that I was able to grab this a long time ago, so for a good price. So yeah, really stoked. But this is the one, if you really want to have the bee's knees growl for Cad Bane comic book collecting, this is the one you want to get. The next key book you definitely want to get a hold of is Darth Maul #3, which is the first cover appearance of Cad Bane. It's also his second full appearance. There's also a second printing, which has a dark background, which I'll show on the screen now. This one actually commands a higher price than the first printing. It's just that the black background makes everything pop on the cover, so it's a much more presentable cover. So this is a really popular book as well at the moment, so try and keep your eyes out for this one. And finally, the other major key book and my personal favorite is the Star Wars 55 Galactic Icons variant. Now this cover, I think, is just amazing because it's literally a carbon copy of the scene where Cad Bane reveals his face for the first time during the showdown with Cobb Vanth. Yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful cover, and I think this is only going to continue to rise in value. I bought this, I think, for $16 a while back, but now this is going for around, I don't know, $140. But I would expect this to continue climbing. Actually, it's just such an awesome cover. It's the best face cover of Cad Bane there is out of all his comics anyway. So talking about Cobb Vanth, I think he definitely survived the duel. It looked like he was shot in the right shoulder. So obviously with Cad Bane intervening, he's going to be gathering up some foot soldiers for the final battle. Now, the next book I want to talk about is Star Wars Jedi Academy Leviathan #1 from 1998. Now, this book is definitely one to get now, based on the episode 6, which confirmed that Luke is currently building his new Jedi Academy, and obviously Grogu is his very first student. But in this particular series, he has been training a whole bunch of new Jedi recruits, and this is actually has the first appearance of 5 of them, and we could potentially see some of these characters appear as students, and I'm actually speculating that there's going to be a spin-off series with Luke having his own show where he's training the new Jedi recruits or Padawans into the future. So I think we're going to see that new series crop up, and we potentially might see some of these students. So as I mentioned, it's the first appearance of 5 students. of his, and this is actually based on Yavin 4. This is where he's actually built the Jedi Temple. So that could potentially be where he was in episode 6. But so here's the first appearance of this person here on the left. This is Kip Duron, who is a human that was kind of corrupted by Exar Kun's Force Ghost. I've talked about Exar Kun in previous hauls, but and the other first appearance is this lady here. Her name's Kirana T, who was a witch of Dathomir, and she's a warrior as well, so pretty fierce. The other one is Tyone, this blonde lady here, and she's basically fascinated by Jedi lore, history, and ancient artifacts. The other student is this elderly or old gentleman here. His name is Streen. Now he's actually a former gas prospector, and he actually has the ability of force empathy. So that's what that ability allows him to do, is feel the feelings of others around him. And because of that, and not being able to control that power, he's been a bit of a loner. So Luke discovered him and brought him to this planet to help train him on controlling that particular power, and also remove his social anxiety as well. And the other first appearance is Dorsk 82, who is over here, this bloke over here. So he's basically a male Comite who is a clone of his predecessor, and he's come to this planet because his predecessor passed away, and this little particular scene here is him picking up his predecessor's lightsaber. So that's definitely one to keep an eye out for. Now this is the standard copy version, but there's also the much coveted newsstand variant, which is this one. So as you can see, the barcode on the newsstand says Star Wars Adventures, so that's the one I would go for if you can afford it or find it. So that's and I've noticed on eBay this book in particular, obviously, but the whole series has really heated up on eBay. So if you can try and get your hands on these, the whole series, but obviously particular number 1, I would do that straight away. So I honestly think that there's going to be a spin-off series of Luke training a new generation of Jedi. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Now the next comic book I want to talk about is Star Wars Republic number 65 from 2004. Now in the latest episode, or episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, you saw that scene where Grogu had a flashback with the help of Luke during Order 66, when the Jedi Temple was being taken over and all the Jedi were being eliminated. So on Reddit, straight after the episode aired, one of the Redditors actually posted that particular scene and pointed out that Barris Offee's sigil was on the wall there. So basically it's a hint that Barris Offee might be the one that's who actually rescued Baby Yoda, or Grogu. There were also rumors about Barris Offee a few months ago that she may actually appear in the Ahsoka show, that there was actually a casting for that particular role. So that may actually eventuate. So the reason why I brought this book up is it's actually the first full appearance of Barris Offee. Now, in one of my previous videos, I incorrectly stated that this book was her first appearance. So I'm actually wrong in this occasion. This is actually her first cover appearance, but it has also a full story as well. But this particular book predates it by several months, and as you can see on the very first page, you have Barris Offee appearing, and it's actually a really good story, this one here, but lots of action, and Barris Offee appears right throughout this book, so it's definitely confirmation that number 65 is a first full appearance. So yeah, it would be very interesting if she was brought back into the mix. And yeah, from obviously there's a lot of bad blood or history between her and Ahsoka, where she set Ahsoka up as a scapegoat for trying to blow up the Jedi Temple. Yeah, it'd be a very interesting story to see her come into live action. We might see a scenario where those stormtroopers come up, or clone troopers come up to kill Grogu, and then she turns up behind them and basically chops them down. So that would be a pretty cool scene. So we'll wait and see if that eventuates. Now, the next book I want to talk about is Star Wars number 69 from 2008. Now, this is actually a reprint of the original comic from 1983 from Star Wars Volume 1. And this came actually from the Hasbro Star Wars comic pack, which had a Princess Leia and Toby Darth figurine in it. Now, the reason why I've brought this particular book up is because of a couple scenes, particularly one from episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. So listen to this particular bit now.
We shall see. The songs of eons past foretold of the Mythosaur rising up to herald a new age of Mandalore. Sadly, it only exists in legends.
So in this scene here, the armorer is talking about the legend of the Mythosaur, and obviously in the Mandalorian show from season 1, the Mythosaur was talked about as well from this scene.
Your ancestors rode the great Mythosaur. Surely you can ride this young foal.
Now, the significance about this particular comic book is that it's the first appearance of a Mythosaur. Now, the Mythosaur in this particular copy is actually dead. It's a huge, giant skeleton. The reason being is that Mythosaurs were actually hunted into extinction. So the story goes that 7,000 years before the destruction of the first Death Star, the first Mandalorians who inhabited the planet used to hunt these giant creatures, and as a rite of passage, basically, for adulthood. And because of that particular part of the culture, the Mythosaurs ended up being hunted into extinction. Now, the armorer alludes to a particular legend, and as you know, Mando basically has been, stripped of his title as being a Mandalorian. But the way he can get that back is basically head back to Mandalore and go to the caves underground. So I'm guessing what might be happening is that we might get a situation where we see like a journey to the center of the earth scenario where Din Djarin or Mando heads into one of the ancient caves, and there's actually mythosaurs living deep underground in Mandalore, and he ends up taming one and bringing it to the surface and basically bringing that legend to life. So we might see that scenario play out, which would be pretty awesome. So anyway, this is the book you want to get to have the first appearance of a mythosaur. So yeah, keep an eye out for this one. And the last book I want to show you is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace from 1999. Now, the significance of this book is it's actually the first appearance of the N1 Naboo starfighter. And obviously in the Book of Boba Fett Episode 5, we saw Mando basically work on that ship and make it into an amazing starfighter and probably one of the fastest ships in the whole galaxy. And it's pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see that little port at the back where the little droid normally hangs out. It's pretty obvious that Grogu is going to be sitting in that little spot there. So they're going to have many adventures with each other in the future. So I'll show you the scene where, or the panel where the Naboo starfighter appears. So this is obviously right at the end. You can see Anakin getting into the E1 starfighter and going off on the shooting spree. And so the E1 starfighter is pretty iconic, and it was pretty cool to see that appear in the Book of Boba Fett. And to have Mando having that ship, it's pretty awesome. So there's actually speculation that he may get a even larger ship and have this one as a little, backup inside of it. So that may eventuate, but yeah, pretty damn cool ship altogether. And as a final bonus book, and it's nothing too special, but obviously Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones number 3. This is actually, I believe, the first appearance of the N1 starfighter on a cover, which is right there. So yeah, keep your eye out for those books. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed my haul. Man, I can't wait for the final episode 7. It's going to be a huge one. What's going to happen in that, I have no idea. It's just going to be a massive battle. It might play out like this, where Boba Fett and his group of mercenaries and Mando and Black Kirsten and all those guys, they're going to have this huge battle against the Pike Syndicate, Cad Bane, etc. What's going to play out is everything's going to start off really positive for them, and then something bad will happen, and then then they'll be on the back foot and things won't be looking good for them. And then what might happen is Grogu appears with Luke Skywalker, because Grogu's decided to be a Mandalorian, or actually decided to be both, and Luke comes in to save the day, so to speak, maybe with Ahsoka, something like that. And apparently there are rumors that we're going to see Han and Leia, a deep fake appearance of those guys. As you know, Luke is looking absolutely amazing, and apparently the reason for that is they hired the guy that was working on that sort of like face recognition or CGI work from the Marvel Studios. So that's why the deep fake is so much better. And who knows, if they can continue to enhance that technology, what we'll see in the future it'd be amazing. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure you guys are excited as I am for episode 7. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing what new revelations we might see from that. So yeah, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya. Bye.